Let's cut the fluff. Too many men are out here trying to win over women who have already made up their minds. You chase, you text, you plan, you wait, and deep down, you feel it. Something's off. But instead of walking away, you keep trying harder, thinking effort will turn it around. Let me tell you something blunt. When a woman isn't interested in you, nothing you do will change that. And worse, sticking around only makes you look desperate. That's not attractive. That's not powerful. That's weak energy. Modern dating is a minefield because women have options. Social media, dating apps, attention from every direction. You're not the only one knocking on her door. So the moment she senses you're too available, too invested, or too willing to tolerate being treated like an afterthought, she loses interest. And fast. This isn't about being bitter or angry. It's about understanding when to stop wasting your time, your attention, and your emotional energy. As a man, your most valuable currency is where you place your energy. If she's not matching your effort, if her actions don't align with her words, or if you constantly feel like you're being strung along, it's not love, it's disrespect. And the longer you stay, the more power you give away. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 7 clear signs that she's not into you. And more importantly, when it's time to walk away with your dignity intact. No games, no begging, no overthinking, just facts. You deserve a woman who chooses you with the same energy you bring to the table. Let's get into it. Before we start the video, I want to remind you that my exclusive online course on mastering the dating game is available now. If you've been learning from my YouTube videos, you're only scratching the surface. This course goes deeper, teaching you everything you need to know about the dating game, from approaching a woman to building real attraction. We just finished section 5 in the course, and you won't find this information on videos on my channel. It's easy to access with a secure payment option. Visit stoicapproach-to-life.podia.com or click the link in the description to enroll now and improve your dating life. 1. She's emotionally unavailable. You're trying to connect, you open up, you ask questions, you try to go deeper, but she stays surface level, cold, distant. Maybe she gives you short answers, changes the subject, or just shrugs and says, "I don't know." That's not a mystery, brother. That's emotional unavailability, and it's one of the biggest red flags you can face. A woman who's truly interested in you wants to build something. She'll let you in. She'll show curiosity, vulnerability, even a little nervousness. But if you keep hitting emotional walls again and again, you're not building a relationship. You're running into one that already ended before it even started. Here's the problem most men run into. You interpret her emotional distance as a challenge. You think if you stay patient, if you prove yourself, if you love her a little harder, she'll finally open up. That's a lie you've been sold. You're not her therapist, you're not her savior, and you're not her emotional dumpster either. A woman who is emotionally unavailable is telling you through her behavior that she doesn't want to be reached. Whether it's because she's hung up on an ex, guarded from past trauma, or simply not that into you, the reason doesn't even matter. What matters is the result. She's not giving anything real. You feel it when you talk to her. You ask how she's doing and she replies with "fine." You try to talk about how you feel and she says, "You're overthinking it." You try to plan something meaningful and she acts like she's too busy. A woman who's emotionally present shows signs of care. Even when she's tired, she shows effort. Even when she's unsure, she opens the door just a little so you can step in. But when you're the only one initiating, trying to get through, while she keeps one foot out the door, it's time to stop trying. Modern men need to understand this. Emotional unavailability is not a puzzle to solve. It's a sign to walk away. You need a woman who shows up, not one who hides behind vague answers and emotional walls. You're not weak for wanting connection, but you do become weak when you continue chasing a connection that clearly isn't there. Don't let your ego keep you locked in. Don't confuse her silence or coldness as something you can fix. That's not your job. The longer you stay in a situation with a woman who is emotionally unavailable, the more you lose yourself. And when a man loses himself chasing someone else's attention, he becomes invisible. Stop waiting for her to wake up and see your worth. Walk away with your power intact. 2. Her words don't match her actions. Every man has heard it before. She says, I like you. She says, I'm just busy. She says, I want to see where this goes. But when you look at her actions, nothing adds up. She disappears for days. She replies to your messages like she's doing you a favor. She never initiates. She makes excuses when you ask to meet. She talks like she's into you, but lives like she couldn't care less. That's not mixed signals. That's a clear sign of disinterest wrapped in just enough hope to keep you hanging. This is one of the most deceptive signs because her words create confusion. You don't want to seem insecure, so you give her the benefit of the doubt. You tell yourself she's just overwhelmed. Maybe it's work. Maybe she's healing. Maybe she's not ready for love yet. You hold on to her words because they give you comfort. But here's the truth most men don't want to face. Women know exactly what they're doing when they give you sweet talk with no follow-through. They like the attention. They like knowing you're there. They like keeping you as a backup. But they're not investing in you emotionally. They're not choosing you. And every time you overlook that mismatch, you give her permission to treat you like an option. You have to train your eyes to read behavior, not promises. If she says she wants to see you but never sets a date, she's not serious. If she tells you she's into you but won't hold a real conversation, she's playing games. If she says she wants something real but lives like she's single and unbothered, believe the action, not the sentence. Men waste weeks, months, even years, hoping a woman will eventually match her words with behavior. They show up, stay loyal, stay consistent, all while she strings them along with just enough kindness to keep them hooked. That's how you lose yourself. That's how you become the guy who's always waiting, always hoping, always getting hurt. In modern dating, attention is currency. And a lot of women have learned how to spend it without ever committing. She might flirt with you, text you when she's bored, like your pictures, even call you babe every now and then. But if she's not making time for you, not showing respect, and not investing in building something consistent, she's not interested in a relationship with you. She's just managing your emotions while she keeps her options open. If a woman really values you, you won't have to question it. She'll show it in her time, her energy, her effort. When a woman is genuinely interested, her actions are louder than her words. But when a woman's words are all you have, and you keep getting disappointed by the way she acts, it's time to stop listening and start walking. Don't argue. Don't ask for clarity. Just recognize the pattern and move on. 3. She never initiates contact. Let's be honest. When a woman is into you, you won't have to do all the work. If you're always the one texting first, calling first, making plans, and checking in while she just responds when it's convenient for her, you're not building a relationship, you're managing a one-sided situation. And here's the raw truth. If she never initiates, she's not interested. It's that simple. A lot of men make the mistake of thinking they're supposed to lead everything in the relationship. While leadership is masculine, chasing someone who isn't matching your energy is just self-sabotage. You're not being a leader when you constantly initiate and she never meets you halfway. You're being passive to her disinterest, hoping that maybe, if you just stay consistent, she'll finally wake up and want you. That's not how attraction works. Modern women are independent, smart, and capable of showing interest. If she likes you, she'll reach out. She'll want to know how your day was. She'll send a message just to say, I miss you. She'll ask to see you. Not because she's desperate, but because you're on her mind. When you mean something to a woman, you don't just become a backup plan or a forgotten text thread. You become a priority. If you're in a situation where you're always starting the conversations and she only replies with short, dry responses, or worse, takes hours or days to reply with no apology or explanation, you are not on her radar. You're just someone she responds to when she's bored or needs attention. And men need to stop mistaking occasional replies for genuine interest. A woman who's into you will find ways to talk to you, even on her busiest days. She won't just respond. She'll engage. She'll ask you things. She'll bring up memories. She'll make future plans. If none of that is happening, then you're not important to her emotional world. And here's the dangerous part. Some men get addicted to trying to win her attention. They fall into the trap of trying harder when she gives less. You think maybe if you send the perfect message, show more consistency, or act more patient, she'll finally see your worth. But the truth is, the more you chase, the less she values you. It creates an imbalance. You feel drained. She feels in control. That's not romantic. That's a slow bleed of your self-respect. Real interest always comes with real effort. If she never texts you first, never checks on you, never asks about your day, never initiates anything, it's not because she's shy. It's not because she's busy. It's because you're not on her mind like she is on yours. That stings, but it's freeing. Because once you realize you're chasing someone who wouldn't even notice if you stopped reaching out, you can finally reclaim your energy. Stop texting first, stop checking in, and watch what happens. Most times the silence you get back will be the answer you were trying so hard to avoid. 4. She avoids physical or emotional closeness. Here's a reality most men refuse to accept. When a woman wants you, genuinely wants you, she moves closer, not further away. She'll find ways to connect physically and emotionally. She'll lean in during conversations, find excuses to touch your arm, hold your gaze a little longer. She'll ask you deep questions, tell you things she doesn't just tell anyone, and let her guard down. But when a woman is not interested, she does the exact opposite. She avoids closeness at all costs, both physically and emotionally. Some guys make excuses for this. They say, she's just shy, or she's been hurt before, but you're not her emotional rehab. And while it's true that some women take time to open up, if she consistently keeps distance between you and her, no touch, no warmth, no effort to connect, it's not about trauma or timing. It's because the attraction simply isn't there. Let's break it down. When you sit next to her, she subtly shifts away. When you try to hold her hand, she pulls back or pretends not to notice. When you compliment her, she gives you a forced thank you and quickly changes the subject. If you bring up anything real, like how you feel about her or where things are headed, she brushes it off with, let's not get too serious, or why ruin what we have? That's not just avoidance, that's disconnection. And you feel it. Every man does. It's that awkward tension, the emotional emptiness, the sense that no matter what you say or do, she's just not with you in the moment. You try to convince yourself that maybe she's stressed or tired or needs more time. But here's the truth. When a woman truly desires a man, she will want to be near him. She will create moments to be alone with him, to talk, to hold, to be held. If she never creates those moments, never craves that closeness, the interest simply isn't there. You also have to pay attention to how she responds to vulnerability. If you open up about something serious, your goals, your fears, something personal, and she makes light of it, changes the subject, or seems emotionally checked out, that's not connection. That's a clear signal she doesn't want to build anything deeper. You cannot force emotional intimacy where none exists. And the more you try, the more you exhaust yourself trying to pull her into a space she's already decided she doesn't want to be in with you. Physical affection and emotional availability are the two most natural ways a woman shows she cares. You don't have to beg for them. You don't have to perform for them. When it's real, it flows. But when she constantly avoids these things, it's her way of keeping you at arm's length, while still keeping you around just in case. Don't fall for it. That type of coldness doesn't change, and it's not your job to warm her up to the idea of loving you. 5. She entertains other men easily. This one cuts deep, but it's one of the most revealing signs a woman is not serious about you. She has no issue giving her time, energy, or attention to other men, and she doesn't even try to hide it. Whether it's flirting with guys on social media, replying to DMs with a smile, constantly texting just friends, or casually hanging out with male acquaintances, you start to notice that you're not the only one she gives access to. That's not an oversight. That's a message. And it's loud. You are not the man she's emotionally invested in. A woman who's into you won't entertain competition. She makes it clear she's focused on you. But if she's still entertaining other men while claiming to be figuring things out with you, she's already decided you're not the priority. She just hasn't told you yet. Instead, she keeps you close enough so you don't walk away, but distant enough so she can keep options open. That's manipulation disguised as confusion. And if you don't recognize it early, you'll stay in a situation where you're emotionally loyal to someone who doesn't even respect your presence. A lot of men ignore this because they're afraid to come off as controlling or insecure. But let's be real. There's a difference between being insecure and having self-respect. If you're investing your time, attention, and effort into a woman, and she can't even draw basic boundaries with other men, you're not being respected. You're being tolerated. And that should never sit right with a man who knows his worth. You see it when she posts thirst traps online for attention, when she laughs a little too hard at another guy's joke, when she tells you stories about how many guys are trying to get with her as if she's proud of it. Or worse, when she keeps an ex close under the excuse of "we're just cool now." All of these are red flags, not details, and they're not random. They're signs that she's still feeding off the attention of others because she doesn't value what you're offering. A woman who genuinely respects and desires you will protect the space between you. She won't want any man outside of that space because she knows what she has, and she knows she could lose it if she plays games. But if you find yourself constantly competing with ghosts, exes, co-workers, old friends, or random guys in her phone, you're not in a relationship, you're in an emotional tug of war, and no man wins that game. You'll start to feel anxious, unsure, always on edge. You'll start checking her social media, second-guessing everything, losing your confidence. That's not love. That's emotional starvation. So if she's too casual about other men, too comfortable entertaining attention that isn't yours, and too indifferent to how it affects you, it's time to let her go. A woman who's truly into you will make other men irrelevant. If she doesn't, then you already are. 6. She doesn't value your time or effort. One of the clearest signs a woman is not interested in you is when she treats your time and effort like they mean nothing. A woman who's into you will appreciate the little things. She'll notice when you make sacrifices, when you go out of your way, when you show consistency. But when she doesn't care, you'll feel it in how casually she dismisses you, cancels plans, ignores your messages for hours or even days, and shows up only when it benefits her. Let's get something straight. Your time is your power. It's your energy, your focus, your life. And when you're giving that to a woman who couldn't care less, you're handing over pieces of yourself that you'll never get back. If you're always the one rearranging your schedule, going out of your way, or trying to prove you're worth her attention while she barely notices, you're not in a mutual connection. You're in a one-sided investment. And that's always a losing deal. Too many men fall into the trap of thinking that more effort equals more attraction. You send long texts, you plan dates, you show up for her when she's down, support her goals, buy her gifts, and keep checking in. But she doesn't reciprocate. She leaves your messages unread, shows up late, forgets the important things you tell her, and never asks how you're doing unless it's about something she needs. That's not bad timing or forgetfulness. That's a woman who doesn't respect your presence. A woman who values you won't take your effort for granted. Even if she can't give back in the exact same way, she'll show appreciation. She'll make an effort to match your energy in her own way. She'll acknowledge what you do, say thank you, and try to bring balance. But when there's no gratitude, no reciprocation, and no emotional return for everything you put in, that's your cue. She's not invested. She's just benefiting from your generosity. And here's the kicker. The more you tolerate that treatment, the more she believes she can keep doing it. You train people how to treat you by what you allow. If you continue pouring into someone who's only draining you, you're not being noble. You're being used. That's the harsh truth. And deep down, you already feel it. You know when you're being overlooked. You know when you're the only one trying. You just keep hoping things will change. But nothing changes if you don't change your position. Stop rewarding her indifference with attention. Stop showing up for someone who barely shows up for you. Start recognizing your worth not by how much you can give, but by how much you're willing to walk away from when it's not being returned. When a woman doesn't value your time or effort, she's saying one thing loud and clear. You're not that important to her. And once you accept that, you can finally make room for someone who sees you differently and acts like it. 7. You always feel unsure around her. Let's talk about that constant nagging uncertainty, the one that creeps in every time you talk to her, spend time with her, or even think about where you stand. You find yourself second-guessing everything. Should you call her again? Should you wait for her to reach out? Was she being cold or just tired? Does she like you, or is she just being polite? When a woman is truly into you, you don't live in this emotional gray area. You know. You feel it. And when you don't, it's almost always because she's not interested and just won't say it outright. That unsure feeling is your gut trying to wake you up. But instead of listening, you silence it. You convince yourself to be patient, to see where things go, or to give her more time. But deep down, you know something's off. That confusion, that uneasiness, that feeling that you have to constantly decode her behavior or tone, that's emotional imbalance. It's her keeping you emotionally close enough to keep your attention, but far enough not to commit. And as a man, you can't operate from a place of constant doubt. It drains your confidence, weakens your instincts, and makes you act like a lesser version of yourself. When a woman is genuinely interested in you, there's no guessing game. You feel safe, seen, and appreciated. She reaches out. She makes you feel wanted. She's consistent. Even when life gets busy, she still makes room for you. But if you're always wondering where you stand, it's because she's not standing with you. You're standing alone, hoping she'll meet you halfway. One of the worst things a man can do is stay in a space where he constantly has to earn someone's clarity. You shouldn't have to chase reassurance or overanalyze every message or decode every mood swing just to feel stable in her presence. That's not a connection, it's emotional survival. And you'll start to notice that the longer you stay, the more anxious you feel. You hesitate before calling. You hold back expressing yourself. You walk on eggshells, afraid of pushing her away, not realizing she's already halfway gone. You can't build anything real with a woman who keeps you in limbo. That emotional tug of war isn't love, it's control. She might not want you enough to commit, but she doesn't want to lose the attention either. So she keeps you unsure, hoping you'll stay around just in case. That's manipulation. And it's a sign that you need to reclaim your peace. Clarity is powerful. And the truth is, women are clear when they care. When they're in, they don't leave room for doubt. If you always feel unsure, always feel like you're guessing, always wondering what you mean to her, then the answer is already there. You don't mean enough for her to be clear with you, and that's all you need to know. As a man, your time, energy, and emotional clarity are too valuable to waste on a woman who doesn't truly want you. If she's showing you signs of disinterest through her distance, her inconsistencies, her lack of effort, believe her. Stop holding on to potential and start honoring your worth. The more you tolerate being treated like an option, the further you drift from becoming the man you're meant to be. Walk away, not out of anger, but out of strength. The right woman won't make you guess, chase, or shrink yourself. She'll match your energy, and you'll feel it without a doubt. And remember, if you're serious about mastering the dating game, don't miss out on my exclusive online course. We go beyond what's covered in these videos, giving you powerful insights from the first approach to lasting attraction. It's easy to enroll with a secure payment option. Visit stoicapproachtolife.podia.com or simply click the link in the description to secure your spot. Don't wait until it's too late. Take action now and start transforming your dating life today. I want to especially appreciate you for taking your time to watch till the end of this video. I hope the video helps you improve every aspect of your relationship with women. Until next time, this is Stoic Approach to Life.